Drizzy, Aubrey, Champagne Pappy, Graham, Drake. Now you've seen the title and thumbnail, you know this video is about Drake. If you've clicked on this video, you more than likely are familiar with Drake already. But in case you aren't, Drake is a highly successful musician who has hit songs in genres such as rap, R&B, dancehall and pop. Oh yeah, also he's Canadian. Now to get to the red button theory, we must first understand the context of the situation. March 22nd, 2024. This is the day of the collab album We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. On there, a certain song called Like That featuring Kendrick Lamar, which will be packed with disses for Drake and J. Cole. Now I'm sure you guys are aware of what happens after this, but a brief summary would be Drake and Kendrick go on to have a diss track battle with very personal lines exchanged. The majority of the public did believe Kendrick won the beef, and this came with heavy backlash for Drake. Now this is nice and all, but you, beautiful bandemic viewer, may be wondering how all of this relates back to the red button. Well, to answer that, the whole idea of a red button was one that stemmed from Drake's fanbase. This was due to Drake releasing a song on his Scary Hours 3 project called Red Button, where he states, "If I press this red button, dog, everything heaven gated. Press this red button, dog, everything forever changes." With there being a history of disses between Drake and Kendrick in the past, it would be a reasonable assumption to say that this red button was one of the diss tracks aimed at Kendrick and the whole industry. Drake posting the image of Stimpy on the verge of posting a red button before he dropped Family Matters was also a sign that Family Matters was his red button. Considering the fact that Family Matters was a 7-minute diss track with 3 different parts to it and a whole music video, it definitely makes it seem as if this is his red button. But I think there's a bit more. Let's go back a little to Drake's For All the Dogs album, where he had a song 8 AM in Charlotte. This was the 6th edition of Drake's AM PM series, which are known for being lyrical and displays of his rapping ability. The song itself was a great example of this, but there was a line that would become awfully relevant later in the video. This was when Drake said, "I got you on camera buying down, but the footage is safe. Thank God, another USB to put in the safe." It's pretty clear what this is alluding to. Drake has some dirt on another rapper or public figure that he's had public disagreements with, but it begs the question, who could this other rapper or public figure be? I think we ought to do a bit more digging. No, nah, no. Alright, hold up. Let me phone a friend. Yo.
Yes, mate.
Hi, I'm getting somewhere with this Drake theory, but I need something else.
Look within you.
Huh?
If all you have to give is 10% and you give 10%, that means you truly gave 100%.
Mate, just give me the fucking song.
Do Not Disturb.
Cheers, Asda. But anyways, Do Not Disturb is another song with the idea of Drake knowing about someone acting different publicly and privately. The key line on this song was, "Behind closed doors a lot of six god worshipping." The message behind this line echoes that of the same message behind the line in 8 AM in Charlotte, even with the songs being 6 years apart. Now again, you may be asking, how does this relate or have anything to do with Drake's red button? Well, a red button in itself is symbolism for destruction in many common media tropes. It signifies something major and groundbreaking. If you look at Family Matters as Drake's red button, you quickly realize that despite it being a great diss track with multiple targets, we don't receive anything astonishing, if you will, with actual evidence behind it. Yes, the domestic abuse allegations against Kendrick could serve as this piece of info. There's ultimately nothing to actually back this up. If Drake had evidence for this claim, he would have undoubtedly displayed it in the diss track, but he didn't. This in the same way Kendrick's claim of Drake having a daughter was a shot in the dark and ultimately, to this moment, an airball. I think it's obvious at this stage of the video that I don't believe Family Matters was the true red button. I mean, come on, why would the guy of Drake's ego sit on some info that he has during the biggest rap beef of all time? Well, if Family Matters isn't the red button, surely this devastating info would link with what he mentioned on previous songs about him having footage of a certain individual bowing down. This meaning the contents of his red button were in the specific video. I mean, Drake had many opportunities to use this during the beef, so I don't think it would be against Kendrick. The same could be said with his beef against Pusha T. If he had this USB footage against Pusha, surely he would have just used it in one of his songs or added it as an intro. I think this takes out Kendrick and Pusha. You could do the same for a lot of other people that were dissed on Family Matters itself. Future, Metro, ASAP, Rick Ross, all dissed during the beef. Drake could have easily exposed them with this footage. So after all this, we're still left with the question, who is Drake's red button about? Well, to answer that question and to wrap up the entire theory, I think we need to go back to where all of this started. The biggest part of the theory staring directly at her. This would be the song itself, Red Button by Drake. This is the song that birthed the entire theory. I want you to pay attention to some of the lines in the song. "Leave your label devastated, even when you pad the stats, period, I never hated." Who had an anti-Semitic rant that had devastating consequences for their label and accusations of faking streams in one of their previous albums? But let's keep going. "Every time you need me for a boost, I never hesitated. Every time that Yeezy called the truth, he had my head inflated." I mean, this pretty much confirms what we already knew. The song where Drake says the infamous lines about pressing a red button is the same song that was directed as a diss to Kanye. Like, it's not even certain lines, the whole song is pretty much a diss. "Call me up to cap, this not a graduation," and Graduation is one of Kanye's best and most popular albums. I believe that Drake's real red button and this piece of info which could genuinely affect the game is about Kanye, and that's why he made the song Red Button. Now, if you look back to the More Life release date of early, I think March 2017, 2017, this was at a time where Drake and Kanye weren't exactly on good terms. Kanye had spoke about radio stations overplaying Drake's music, and if you may say he started the run off by saying he loved Drake, we still all know how Drake takes things personally. Kanye and Drake have had a very long and personal beef. Drake believed Kanye told Pusha T about him having a son, which is a key part in Pusha winning the beef. That's what separated both of the diss track. Also, Kanye made a Lift Yourself beat for Drake, which Drake was gonna buy for $3 million, but Kanye ended up just trolling on the song and just putting his own, well, I mean, you know. I'd say the most famous exchange of all of them would be Drake's iconic Sicko Mode verse, with the lyrics implicating that Drake had snuck into Kanye's house to get with Kim K. Kanye would release multiple tweets calling out Drake for threatening his life and family's safety. Years later, Kanye and Drake would go at it again, with both of their albums releasing at the same time, CLB and Donda. CLB ended up selling over 600k and Donda sold around 300k. Drake would also diss Kanye with the song Circo Loco, which Kanye would tweet a response to. This then takes us to Red Button, and also Kanye's diss at Drake, which was mostly forgettable. All of this will explain why Drake would feel obligated to drop a red button on Kanye, and why I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like this dropping in the future. Anyways, that wraps up the video, and this was a different style, so let me know if you enjoyed it. My bad for not being consistent, but trust me, you guys are getting another video in the next few days. Comment your thoughts on the theory below, join the ZXR community and Discord server, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.